Welcome back to another Civilization Restarts video. Also, we just hit 1,000 subscribers, so let's go. Um, we're gonna have a lot of things today, but first we're gonna start off with another little warm-up war. I think I found the formula for Civilization Restarts. I think the 4 events is good because before I was doing like 10 and the videos just were like way too long and really boring. Now I think the 4 events are good because I can actually focus on every event individually. Anyway, if you don't know the drill, if you're new, firstly hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Secondly, when a country's color is like overlaid on another country, it means that that country is invading and occupying that territory. That'll be useful to know. Let's begin. So Azerbaijan, this country, is going to launch the invasion of their southern neighbor. Now, basically, if you haven't seen the episode where the red team uh invaded this thing. Also, if you're new, the brown is like my way of highlighting things. It doesn't really mean anything. It's not a color I give to any country. Yeah, if you haven't seen it where they get this brown area that I just colored in actually used to be a part of the Azerbaijani people, and then the red team took it. So Azerbaijan had a lot of economy and a lot of natural stuff, natural resources over there. Now they're basically saying, all this uncolonized gray land. The gray means like it's developed and people live there, and it used to be colonized at a certain point, but now it's uncolonized. They're basically thinking if we can go through this southern country, we could probably like start recolonizing this. Horrible idea, because right now inside of this, anarchy is happening. Last episode, if you don't remember, the blue team sent like 100,000 troops through this area, and there were like 75,000 left by the time they even got here. So yeah, 25,000 casualties on the way to a war is actually kind of crazy. Now this southern neighbor is like really, really bad. Like they have no economy. They're so bad I don't even remember their name. So the capital is like almost instantly destroyed, and then following that, it's just absolute havoc. And yeah, these guys are safe to say they capitulate like pretty fast. So Azerbaijan is just gonna annex the entire country like almost immediately. No second thought at all. But the thing is, the red team is gonna take this as a pretty aggressive move because a strong Azerbaijan is a bad thing for the red team and also for the Georgians, because the Georgians are currently the only country in the world who border the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea, which means they can get Crimean stuff, which is like the China of this world. Crimea like produces literally everything almost. It's a much bigger country than this. They have like colonies everywhere. But they can get Crimean stuff to Asia really fast. And they can also, for Crimea, they can cut down the thing a lot because Crimea, they control the entrance and exit to the Black Sea, but they don't control the entrance and exit to the Mediterranean. That's controlled by the red team. They don't really like the red team, so them going through Georgia, they've developed Georgia a lot. They've given Georgia a lot of money. It's good for Georgia, but if Azerbaijan gets strong and they take this back, or worse, they invade Georgia, and then that's a easier pathway to get over here. It's no matter what. If Azerbaijan also has a border with the sea, the Black Sea, and with the Caspian Sea, it's gonna like really divide Georgia's market share. Anyways, moving on. That was so much Japanese, bro. We're gonna have some new countries. We're gonna have some Western African storyline. And firstly, there's gonna be a new country right here, and it's actually gonna be a really, really big country. And basically, this country is, I don't exactly know what it is or what I'm gonna call it yet. But actually, let's move that down here. I think it will be much more interesting if this new country is connected to the blue team. Hold up. Let's make these borders before I yap a little bit too much. Basically, the blue team's like expansionism and stuff has kind of made a lot of tribes who previously weren't countries, they were just like groups of people, paranoid, like really paranoid. And this is one of those cases. These guys are just gonna like make themselves a country. I want it to be yellow. I want all the Saharan countries to be some form of yellow. Like Mamluks are yellow too. This looks deserty. This color looks like really deserty. I like this. So that's going to be one country. And then these guys, obviously, you can't just have one major country form. So a second African, not African, Saharan, yes, African, but like Saharan African country is also going to form. And it's also going to be like pretty big. Now, as you can see, both these countries are really look similar. Like they both have a little thing at the coastline, and then they become really big. Uh, as they go into the desert, and that's because they don't really have any challenges for expansion in the desert other than the desert itself, because no one really lives there. So like they just claim all that region and have like some soldiers guarding it. It's really good for like natural resources, but other than that, they don't really get anything in there. But yeah, this other country, same thing. We're gonna choose a yellow. Let's make it a little darker. Let's make it golden brown. Looks like a turd. We got a new country, and these guys are actually gonna have their capital near the coast. Bad idea. The Abuja Republic, these guys are a prime example of why that's a bad idea, because you just get your capital absolutely destroyed by strong countries. Speaking of the Abuja Republic, they're actually going to be expanding for the first time in like since they were created. And the reason they're going to be expanding is because of their new rebel government, who was the government that kicked out the red team, as well as uh, the red team and the blue team. They kicked both of those guys out, and the they restored the sovereignty of this country basically, and they're basically trying to make sure that something like what happened. You should go watch that video. I'm bad at explaining what happened, but basically these guys got completely destroyed for like 10 episodes. They were just like split down the middle. Like that line that I just erased over there, that was the north and the south, and the south was red team and the north was blue team. It was like really bad situation. A lot of people died, but they did end up defeating those guys, and they got their thing. So they don't want this to happen ever again. They're also gonna remove their capital from here, and they're gonna develop a new capital. They're going to place their new capital. This new city is going to be their new capital, right there. Yeah. As you can see, so far so good for these new guys. I think we can move on from there. There's definitely gonna be wars and a lot of them over here, but not this episode. Next up and last thing on our agenda, actually, a South African Federation. Now, the reason for this South African Federation is actually going to be these guys are going to kind of spread a little bit. They're going to spread their wings, you know what I'm saying? They're going to like go ahead and basically just expand into all these neighboring provinces and territories. They're going to form a little bit of a federation. They're not going to completely annex these things. These guys over here are going to try and do the same thing. They're going to be like, okay, you're expanding, I can expand too. The people that actually live here are also going to be like, okay, we just lost our coastline because that actually got colonized. Let's also expand a bit. And they're going to expand too. They're going to create countries. Firstly, let's have these guys expand. And then next, we can just have some random colors because they don't really matter. They're about to get destroyed anyways. Let's just get these two random colors. They don't really have a capital. They're not really a country yet. I'm just giving them a color because, you know, I need something to be able to destroy. Something to like showcase this. I think we can just leave them white. Because, okay, it's not a country. It's just important that these guys be shown as a country. And you'll see why in a second. So the creation of these new states is actually going to force these guys' hand to annex this stuff for its own protection, which is good. So far, nothing wrong. These guys were never about to treat that as a federation. They're going to instantly annex it. These guys, also same thing. They were never about to give any autonomy to that. But basically, what the? Basically, by far, as you can see, these guys are the strongest. And they're going to basically realize that these two are going to realize that they need some more market share, because all three of these guys, their entire economy is completely consistent of the blue team staying here for a little bit to do trade and to also like get supplies all the way up to Norway, because the blue team really like they don't. The red team, I'm pretty sure, has this shut down to get supplies to Norway because the red team wants all of the north of the world. So I'm pretty sure they don't allow the blue team to use the Suez Canal as a way to transport material to Norway. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're forced to go all the way around. This thing is like in the middle of the Sahara, like not middle of Sahara, but like you know what I mean. This is really bad land, and so the red team really just has two ways they can do this. One is go through this really unstable region where probably most of their stuff will get destroyed, or two, just go over here, just like take a nice break over here, refuel, go over here, refuel, go over here, refuel, and then go over here, refuel, and then they can set on a really long voyage, kind of. They can refuel over here, I guess, go through over here, refuel over here, and then they can get to Norway. Both ways are really long. This way is easier, and this way is the way that's gonna like force force a war over here to happen. Basically, both of these smaller countries are gonna realize that their market share is getting destroyed because like this is really developed and all this is not. So the blue team prefers this always, and so they're basically gonna sign a thing, and then they're gonna declare war on these guys, the South African Federation, which is not a federation yet. I will get into how that's going to become a federation soon. But they're going to basically launch the invasion. They're both going to do this. They're both playing a part in this. And they both will get equal devastation in their lands. Uh, yeah, okay. So this is going to have. Oh my god, bro, that's too much tolerance. That's better. If you've ever used Paint 3D, I actually feel bad for you, bro. I never thought this app would be this bad. I should really switch to like real Microsoft Paint, but I will not. This one, I don't know. I feel like Paint 3D is easier, but it's really not. It's so much worse. Anyways, both of these guys are going to continue their invasion. They're actually doing really, really good. Then, these guys are going to be idiots. These guys. These guys. They're going to be absolute idiots.
Looked back on that recording, I don't know why my mic sucked so much for that part of the video. It's okay though. As I said, these guys are gonna be idiots. They're gonna launch an invasion of these guys, these like kind of state, non-state, state things. Because, well, actually, they're not gonna be idiots. They're just gonna be really dumb with the way they do this. Because instead of maybe expanding up here, actually, I take that back. That would be a really bad idea because the blue team would absolutely destroy these guys if they ever threatened anything over here. These guys were basically running out of resources. They needed to get more land, but instead of talking normally with these guys, maybe you could let us mine some resources over there. They just launch an invasion, which I mean, fair enough, because that's much faster. However, these guys are going to see them. They're going to be like, "Oh no, maybe the same is going to happen to us with these guys." These guys are like, "No, it's okay. We're smart. We don't do those." They invade. They invade like right after saying they won't do that. They invade. And both these countries are now like looking really bad. The problem is these are not really countries. So this is technically colonization, which means that both these guys now have much more to lose because now if they lose this war, they know for a fact that the these guys, the pink ones, are most definitely going to take this land as well when they inevitably defeat these guys. So now these guys are on much more of a time crunch to basically make their element of surprise last longer and to continue catching the pink guys off guard. Also, yeah, those two are gonna fall almost instantly. It's also gonna give more land technically for the actual invasion itself. Now, the red team is gonna pull something really genius that's gonna completely upset the balance of this entire region. The red team, let's go to them for a second. They know for a fact they had way back in the day. If you were watching, they had not only a colony right here, the red team, who is, if you're new, a very big rival of the blue team. Not only did they have land over here, they also had land over here. Both of this they lost like a couple of videos ago. So they're gonna see an opportunity. They're gonna basically see these guys are really desperate right now. If we support these guys to defeat all of this, which we can very easily because all these guys have really bad militaries, we may be able to create a really strong country here that's really closely aligned with us, and we may be able to shut down the blue team's like way of getting to Norway, getting supplies to Norway, because then, well, you can't really make a journey all the way over here. That would be really difficult. Either they would have to go through uncolonized land, or they would have to go through colonized but like unstable land. Or they would have to pay a lot of taxes and go through red team controlled territory. They could also, I guess, like do like a little bit of stuff over here to get all the way over there, but that would be a really bad idea. So yeah, also, it's just like an ally, and the blue team needs allies, so they decide to do it. The red team, I mean, the red team needs allies. They send in the military to help pink guys. So they send that in. Alright, so now with the help of red team troops, right when red team troops land here, it already sends off alarm bells in the blue team. Now, red team troops getting here is also really difficult because they can go all the way around here, land over there, and that's pretty much it. From there, they have to make a continuous journey all the way to Namibia, who's actually neutral between the blue team and the red team. They're just profiting from this, and then they can go land in there. So yeah, morale in these troops is really low. But regardless, these guys are going to be able to push back in a lot of regions really quickly. So that's already doing pretty well. I think they're just gonna push back slowly but surely. Let's say that I think they're probably gonna be able to get rid of all of this force, definitely. And I think for easier purposes, we can just color both of this. Okay, so now from here, these guys are going to launch their operations, you know, because they can't just let all that this slide. They got to invade as well. And at this point, it's basically kind of just like confirmed for both sides that this war is not ending. Like when this ends, there will only be one country left in this entire region. Quickly combined with the native population of this region, these guys are able to capture all that, and then they can push this out and this out. And these guys almost instantly like collapse in their entire front. That's all gone, like instantly. And then from there, these guys' capital falls rather fast because they spent all of their money on this war and they have nothing left and no one really wants to come help them. This thing collapses because no one had faith in them to even like give them loans. This thing the blue team backs a little bit, but they really don't want to get involved because they don't want to jeopardize their relationship with this new country too much because it's like pretty clear that they're gonna win. They don't want to jeopardize their relationship with these guys too much because like maybe they'll still allow them to stop here a little bit just to like kind of make money a bit. Maybe like they'll charge really high taxes because of their alliance with the red team. That's probably going to come out of this, but they might still like let these guys stop here and they might just the red team might not actually like do anything. They might just use it for leverage. They might not actually like shut down the ports for the blue team. So with those hopes, they really only give diplomatics. They don't even give diplomatic support. They send a couple of volunteer troops from the south over here, and that's pretty much it. And that's gonna lead to a pretty fast capitulation over here. Yeah, that's just gone. Like instantly. It's over. It's over. They're not doing nothing, bro. It's gone. That might have been one of the like worst, most like these guys sold so hard. They could have won if they weren't being dumb. Like if they played their diplomacy correctly as well, they probably could have done this, but they played their diplomacy really badly. And I think we can now just get rid of yeah, yeah. The South African Federation is now born, allied so closely to the red team. Actually, we'll get to that. They're actually going to be allied very closely to the red team, and as I said, and as the blue team was hoping, the red team does not shut down the ports yet. They basically keep the blue team on edge, uh kind of force the blue team to come back to the negotiations table and start talking with the red team again. I think the red team has also kind of realized that if they do this, they go ahead and just completely shut down the ports. Blue team could literally just close off both of this, and now the red team has to go all around Africa to even get to the Indian Ocean. So I think that's worrying the red team a little bit. So they're not going to do too much over here, but they are going to invite these guys to join the red team alliance, and these guys are going to instantly agree with that. They want that protection. So yeah, their capital is gonna probably be much more important. So I'll make their capital a little bit bigger as well. I think actually no, we're gonna move their capital completely because the red team is gonna help them build a completely new capital right over here. So yeah, with this, the new country is born. The blue team, they know that at any moment the ports could be shut down over here, and then the blue team couldn't use them anymore, and then their Norwegian colony and their colony over here in Siberia would be completely cooked. But yeah, other than that, I do hope you guys enjoy this video. This is going to be the end. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get 1,100 subscribers. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.